The day I found out my wife was cheating was the day my world shattered. But the real story, the one that turned my grief into cold, calculated revenge, started with a single misplaced text message. It wasn't meant for me, but seeing it was like a lightning bolt, illuminating the dark corners of a life I thought I knew. Her name is Clara, and for 10 years, she was the sun I orbited. We had it all, or so I believed. A beautiful home, 2 amazing kids, a life built on what I thought was mutual love and respect. The text was from a man named Julian, and it wasn't just a flirty message. It was a detailed plan for their upcoming weekend getaway while I was supposed to be on a business trip. My first reaction was a wave of nausea, followed by a rage so intense it scared me. I wanted to confront her, to scream, to break things. But then, a chilling thought stopped me. What if this wasn't the first time? How deep did this betrayal go? Instead of exploding, I did something I never thought I was capable of. I became a ghost in my own life. I pretended I saw nothing. The business trip was real, but I used that time not for work, but for investigation. I hired a private investigator, a discreet professional, who promised me the unvarnished truth.
How?
I needed to know everything. The investigator's first report landed in my inbox like a grenade. It was worse than I could have ever imagined. This wasn't a recent fling. Julian had been in her life for over 2 years. They met at a work conference. They had their own routines, their favorite secret spots. A whole parallel life lived in the shadows of our marriage. The report included photos. Claire and Julian laughing over dinner, holding hands in a park, kissing in his car, just blocks from our home. Each image was a dagger to my heart. The love I felt for her curdled into something else, something colder and sharper. It wasn't just about the affair anymore. It was about the years of lies, the calculated deception. She had made a fool of me. That's when I found the shocking truth that changed everything. The investigator, digging deeper, uncovered Julian's background. He wasn't just some random guy. Julian was the heir to a major competitor of my own company. Our businesses were rivals in a fierce market. This wasn't just a personal betrayal. It was a potential corporate catastrophe. Was she feeding him information? Was our entire life, our marriage, just a long con for him to gain a competitive edge? The pieces started clicking into place. It's the sudden inspired ideas Clara would give me for my business. The oddly specific questions she'd ask about my company's quarterly strategies. I had thought it was wifely interest. Now I saw it for what it was: espionage. My grief was gone, replaced by an icy resolve. This was no longer a matter of a broken heart. This was war, and I was going to win. Revenge couldn't be a loud, messy confrontation. I would give them the satisfaction of seeing me broken.
Oh.
My revenge had to be silent, strategic, and devastating. I decided to use their own game against them. I started feeding Clara misinformation. I'd come home stressed about a new product launch that didn't exist. I'd leave fake documents on my desk about a massive fabricated company expansion into a new, unprofitable market. I knew she was passing every word, every scrap of paper, directly to Julian. I watched with a grim satisfaction as Julian's company began to act on my false intelligence. They poured millions into research for a product that had no market. So they started acquiring resources for an expansion that would lead them straight into a financial black hole. I could see the strain on Julian through the investigator's continued surveillance. He was getting desperate. His company's stock was starting to dip. Meanwhile, I was quietly executing my real plan. I secured a game-changing patent that I had kept completely secret and prepared for a product launch that would completely corner the market they were so busy chasing ghosts in. The day of my product launch was the day I chose to bring everything crashing down. That morning, I didn't go to the office. I stayed home. I sat Clara down at the kitchen table, the same table where we had shared thousands of family meals. I laid out a single file. It contained the photos of her and Julian. It contained bank statements showing his company's tanking stock price. And on top, it contained the divorce papers. Her face went from confusion to shock, then to pale horror as she connected the dots. She saw not just the end of our marriage, but the complete and utter destruction of her lover's professional life, all orchestrated by the man she had so thoroughly underestimated. She tried to explain, to cry, to beg, but I felt nothing. The man who had loved her was gone, destroyed by her betrayal. In his place was someone she didn't recognize, someone who had learned to turn pain into power. I told her calmly that she had to be out of the house by the end of the day. There was nothing left to say. I had already won. As I walked out of the house, leaving her with the ruins of the life she had torpedoed, I didn't feel joy. I felt a quiet, empty sense of justice. It was a hollow victory, but it was mine. The aftermath was exactly as I had planned. My company soared. Julian S. was forced into a massive downsizing and was eventually bought out by a larger firm for pennies on the dollar. He was disgraced. Clara tried to fight the divorce, but the evidence was overwhelming. I got full custody of the kids in the house. My children are my world, and protecting them from the fallout was my top priority throughout this whole ordeal. It took time to heal, and the scars are still there. But I rebuilt my life from the ashes, stronger and wiser. I learned that sometimes the best way to get over a betrayal isn't to forgive and forget, but to make sure that those who hurt you understand the full consequences of their actions. It's a bitter lesson, but one I'll never forget. Thank you for listening to my story. It's a dark chapter of my life, but one I felt was important to share. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you are stronger than you think. Don't forget to like this video if you found my story compelling, and subscribe for more real-life accounts. See you in the next one.